Now I'm relaxed. Let's start with our, I just need to move the screen so you can see my feet. There we go. Me and my dog. Let's start with our heels touching, tongue on the roof of the mouth. We're building the structure from the ground up. So we're softening the feet into the ground. We're letting the toes spread. We're letting the muscles between the bones in the feet soften. We're letting the knees go out to the corners. So the knees are lightly bent. And we're bringing the weight to the middle of the foot, the ball of the foot, the heel and the outside edge. Remember, that may mean just opening up the knees to get the outside edge of the foot engaged and the sense of the sensation of the weight equally balanced in the feet. Then we're going to bring the body over the feet by lifting the sternum, opening up this area of the body, dropping the chin as if we're holding a pair of socks under the chin to lengthen the back of the neck and push the crown of the head up. And then feel that tension we've used to lift the body. We're going to let that tension go. We're going to feel like there's a river melting down through the body, settling us into the feet as we soften the muscles inside the body. So we've put the structure of the body in place, the bones carrying the weight of the body, and now we're dealing with the muscles. And to do that, you really need to feel inside the body. Feel how the shoulders can let go. Feel how the lower back can release. We're just going to settle down, quietening down, drawing our awareness inside the body until we let go so much that the whole body becomes loose. Whole body becomes loose. We're just managing our balance by the feet and the ankles. By changing in the feet and the ankles, we keep ourselves upright and balanced. Otherwise, we'd fall over. We're so soft. And that's our beginning of Tai Chi. To make the way we hold ourselves different. To change the habit of the way we hold ourselves. Good. And just standing in that posture, I'll just explain a couple of things. So if we were to practice for 15 minutes, say, we'd do 5 minutes of loosening, softening, loosening, releasing, relaxing, stretching. We'd do 5 minutes of perhaps analyzing principles in Tai Chi and 5 minutes of playing, doing the form. And if you're learning music, for example, your teacher might say exactly the same thing. Do the scales for 5, or warm up for 5 minutes. Do the scales, study some of the theory or the way the scales fit together, and then 5 minutes of play. And we try and bring that idea to when we have a few minutes to practice for ourselves, be it 15 minutes, half an hour, we try and divide it into equal thirds. So for a few minutes, we'll just do some loose stretching. So the first thing, to warm up the body and to get nice range of movement, we're going to roll the shoulders. Standing with our feet together, we're going to roll the shoulders. Imagine a circle on the wall on each side, and with your shoulder, you're drawing that circle. So they come together, closer together at the top, round and down. So the whole chest is opening. And when you're doing this, when you're moving your shoulders, notice that it changes your balance. We want to try and keep softly resting into the feet, keeping the body really loose. We'll go the other way around. Try to do this with just the shoulders and not the arms. Don't use the arms to do this movement, just the shoulders. And try and get right round those circles smoothly. So you're aware of every part of that circular movement, that you can feel the shoulder moving in. We're going to lift the chest right up, pull the crown of the head right up to the ceiling, and then let everything go. We're going to lift up by pushing up with the feet, push the crown of the head right up, feel the whole rib cage and torso and the fascia of the torso lifting with the shoulders, and then soften. Now these exercises, just go to a place that feels comfortable. As you're stretching up, breathing in and release. We want to find movement in our body. We want to find the looseness in our body and the range of movement it can go through. First contracting, and then deep releasing. Contracting, and deep releasing. Good, we'll do a little stretch for the legs. So just resting all the weight in the left leg. Put the right heel on the ground. There's no weight in the right heel. And I'm just going to lean over from the hips. If you look at my back, it's quite straight, but I'm leaning forwards. I'm not curving my back, folding from the hips, and I'm starting to get a very light pull underneath the thigh. And I can control that stretch by how far up or how far down I go. But the idea is to work the body so that you start to get a pull and a warming feeling, stretching feeling from the heel right through to the buttocks. And 2 or 3 deep stretches into that. And the other side with the weight 100% in the leg, just the heel on the ground, no weight in the leg, just the weight of the leg itself. All my balance is in my right leg, and I'm just folding in the hips until I feel that pull under the thigh. 2 or 3 nice stretches into the legs. In this way, we're beginning to warm up the body and get the muscles used to changes, range of changes. With the feet parallel. Before we go into any exercise, the classics of Tai Chi, the writings of Tai Chi say, stand like a balance, move actively like a cartwheel. So we don't just want to rush into it. We want to set ourselves up. And that means at the beginning being really aware of our body, where the weight is, how the frame of the body is, dropping the chin, how the tension is taken away. So my standing posture is very organized, very well. I'm feeling. I'm not just kind of getting to standing and starting. I'm actually organizing myself. When you get used to that, that can happen very quickly. You stand and relax, you stand and relax. But at first, build it up. Make sure your feet are in the right place. Make sure your knees are open to engage the outside. Make sure you feel you have a bridge to the thigh, so the hips can sit onto your bridge and push your knees into your feet. Get that feeling. From there, from the stable center, grow the torso, lengthen the torso, and then let it relax. There's our standing posture. And we start our first exercise. Fold the hips and fold the knees. Scoop up. Feel a light stretch, release. Everything finishes together in the standing posture. Fold. When you fold, make sure, I'll repeat these things again and again, make sure your hips and your knees together. So you've got 2 hips and 2 knees, and they're folding equally at the same time together. And while you do this move, the weight stays in exactly the same part of the feet. When you push up, the weight stays in exactly the same part of the feet. The legs are still pushing all the way to the top. At the top, the knees stop pushing and the knees bend. And the knees keep bending all the way down until you arrive in a standing posture. Now, when you come to the standing posture, we want to make sure that the structure of the body is the same as we've organized before. And on the inside, everything is released at the same time. So as we arrive in the standing posture, as we arrive, so too does the tension finish. The tension is the contraction of the body, the contraction of the muscles against gravity to lift us, and the releasing of the muscles to settle us down. When we achieve the standing posture and we feel we're loose, upright and stable, we move on. Stretch. Feel the fingers. Feel the crown of the head. Feel the feet as one stretched piece of elastic. Let that elastic come together.
Hello there, Bendy dog. You good dog?
And settle. Fold. Stretch. As the hands pass the brow, soften the brow. The hands pass the eyes, relax around the orbit of the eye. The jaw, the throat, the chest and the abdomen, the groin and the buttocks. Upright, settled position. One more time. Fold. Stretch. Settle down. Brow. Face. Jaw. Throat. Chest. Abdomen. Groin. Buttocks. Simple standing posture. Quietening down. With the feet in the same position, we go to the next exercise, which is the smaller version of the same exercise, but now just lifting to the height of the throat, one fist apart. Settle. In this exercise, again, finishing in a standing posture, upright, relaxed on the inside. The legs do the work to lift up. And when we settle down in this exercise, try to make sure that the base, the knees, are the first things to soften. There's like water in a tube. When the water leaves down below, the rest of the water can flow down. Or when the water in a bath leaves through the plug, the top part of the water can flow down. So the first thing to change at the top are the legs, the knees, the folding at the back of the knee. All the way down. The knee is folding all the way down. And the upper body is following. So by the time we get to the standing posture, settled and upright. Use the legs to come up, contract, breathe in, release, breathe out, settle, balanced, loose and upright. Breathe in. Background noise somewhere. Trying to see. Suzanne, is that, yeah. Could you mute yourself, please?
Yeah, sorting it out.
I've got two of you on. Yeah, there you go. That'll be better. Yeah. Actually, I think I might be able to do it here. I think there we go. That should sort it out. Right. So you see, we've done a few minutes of loosening and stretching the body. And now we've done a few minutes of starting to, if you like, look at the principles of Tai Chi and start to analyze how we actually move. Start to feel if we can apply some of those ideas of moving into our movement, into our exercise. When we go through the form, we do the similar sort of thing. We try and put some of those ideas into the form. We also just try and do the form and relax and let them come in naturally. Want to introduce one more exercise before we do some form. With the feet parallel, the arms start off facing the corners. So my right arm is going towards 1 o'clock. My left arm going to 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So my arms are out to the corners. Then if you feel them too wide, you'll start to feel your shoulder blades tighten. So you don't want your back, you want your back to be nice and open and not feeling tight. So where your arms are pointed towards, and this can be different for everybody, how wide they're pointed is up to you, but your shoulders want to be relaxed. The hands are at the height of the shoulders, facing the corners. The first movement is to drop the arms as the body drops and they swing. I'll do the exercise first and you can see. Sinking, 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 coming up, 1, coming up 2, coming up 3, coming up 4, back to the beginning. So I've got 4 swings of the arms. Meanwhile, the body is going down slowly and steadily. And then I've got 4 swings of the arms and the body is coming up slowly and steadily. What we don't want the body to go down in steps or come up in steps. We want the body to go down gradually and smoothly over 4 swings of the arms. So let's try together. Remember that the knees are going to be bending the whole way down. So don't let most of the bend happen at the beginning. Let the bend come very gradually into the knees. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm at my bottom height and I'm coming up about an inch. 1, the knees are opening. 2, 3, 4. Let's just try it with the body without the arms. Okay, so if you look at my knees, I'll come a little bit closer. My body stays upright in standing posture and I let go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm still upright. I come up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knees bending, coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awareness in the knees. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awareness in the knees coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's add what the arms do. The arms are not like pendulums. The arms are not like pendulums. The shoulder relaxes first. So this movement in the shoulders, letting go of the weight of the shoulder, is what activates the elbow and activates the wrist. So it's not that you just keep this still and let the arms swing. It's more that you drop the shoulders and then the arms. 1, and then they swing up. You drop the shoulders and then the elbows, then the wrists. You drop the shoulders, put the shoulders down, then the arms follow. Swing up, you put the shoulders down, then the arms follow. And the height you want to come to is level with the shoulders. You don't want the arms up here. Just to here at the highest, okay? This is about the highest they get to. Drop the shoulders, then the arms. Let the arms follow the feeling of letting go. Let the arms follow the feeling of letting go. Then let the shoulders follow the feeling of the knees letting go. So you bend the knees, shoulders drop, the arms follow. 1, 2, bend the knees, shoulders drop, arms follow. 3, 4, coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back at the beginning now. So drop the knees, follow with the shoulders, elbows, wrists. When the hands cross, they come to approximately level here. And they can go opposite ways each time they cross. And they're close to the body. The arms are close to the body. They come out to the corners, and then when they drop, they're close to the body. And the arm is swinging on the same pathway the whole time. So that if I do it towards the camera, you'll see that the arm goes out and drops on the same pathway. It doesn't move left or right. It doesn't go round. It just goes out and back, and out and back, and out and back. This is called the second loosening exercise. There are 5, and over the course of the next few weeks, we'll do the other ones. This is the easiest, which is why we're doing it first, even though it's number 2. Okay. Has anyone got any questions about this exercise so far?
I know you said it's the easiest one, but I actually find it quite difficult.
Right. What's the tricky bit?
To get the coordination and the softening and just getting it in sort of integrated.
Yeah, it's a bit like that one, isn't it? Patting your tummy and rubbing your head. It's like trying to do everything together. It's designed. You know what happens, Luz? If you take your focus, too intently to one thing, you haven't got any focus on the rest. So if you focus too much on what the shoulders are doing, you completely forget what should be going on in the feet. So what it's designed to do is to work the whole body in such a way that we have to find the right type of focus that enables us to feel everything. Okay. And the trick is, and this is more of an intermediate thing than a beginner's thing, the trick is if you try and close down the thinking part of your mind and find the part just as you would when you go to sleep. Okay, so if you put your head on the pillow and you're just drifting off to sleep, that's the quality of mind before you go to sleep, because you don't want to be sleepy. Just the quality of mind where you've stopped thinking, because thinking will keep you awake. You stop thinking and you're just beginning to go to a different place in yourself. That's the place you need to find to be able to do these exercises. So you close down the superficial thinking, the part of you that keeps you in the forebrain, working things out, analyzing, asking yourself questions, and you start to find that place where it's much more to do with the sensations and the feeling of the body. And this is the place where we want to rest and do the exercise from, because in that place, we can take in everything at the same time. Whereas the more thinking place can only do 1 or 2 things together, gets overwhelmed very, very quickly. It can do the job very carefully and very well in one place. But as soon as we start to add 3 or 4 places, what's happening in the feet, what's happening in the lower back, what's happening in the shoulders, you can't keep track of it. Okay, so that concentration is really good for doing things like maths, really good for certain types of life problems. It's really good for. But the place we want to get to is like much deeper we're doing. That's why I say when we analyze and when we play the scales, we really go into each little bit and feel what's happening. And then the last 5 minutes of our practice or 10 minutes of our practice is playing it, trying to go into that deeper place and just allowing it to be. Let's try the loosening exercise one more time. Build it up from the ground, the feet planted, the toes spread. The weight in the ball, the heel and the outside edge, which means you may have to open the knees. Create a nice loop in the thighs. The knees feel stable and bent, the body's lifted, the chin's dropped, and then the body's at rest on the inside. That's our starting point, the standing posture. Lift the shoulders and the elbows and the wrists. And when you're ready, you can begin the loosening exercise, starting with the legs. The knees bend 1, the knees continue to bend 2, the knees continue to bend 3, the knees continue to bend on at my lowest point. I'm coming up now the whole time smoothly and steadily. 1, pushing into the ground, the knees opening. 3 swings of the arms, 4 swings of the arms. Back to the start, release. 1, the knees, 2, 3, and 4. Coming up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Releasing, 1, 2, 3, 4. And coming up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, 1, 2, 3. Settle down. Coming up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. If you were to look at the crown of my head in relation to, say, the top of the screen, on the way down, I will definitely be going lower, smoothly lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, about an inch or an inch and a half downwards. On the way up, I'll be returning 1, 2, 3, 4 to my starting point. Now that height difference is coming from the knees. The knees are either bending on the way down, 1, 2, 3, 4, or straightening, 1, 2, 3 on the way up. Okay, so there's quite a lot of information there. Please play back the recording when you get it, if you want to recap any of the ideas, because what we want to try and do is try and understand what's going on in our bodies when we do this exercise. Okay. Moving on, we'll look at the form we've done up to holding the ball. I want to add a couple more moves tonight as well. So from the beginning, the Taiji form. Bring the heels together, standing posture. Take the tension away, and you're left with a very loose, upright structure. The knees bend, the weight goes to both feet. Keep the knees bending, the weight goes to the right foot, the left foot lifts. Pivot on the ball of the left, push it across. There's no weight in the left foot. Move the weight now to the left foot, turning, turning. The turning finishes exactly when you arrive over the left foot. Turn back, bring the right toes in. The feet are now parallel. Put the weight into both feet equally. Standing posture. Use the legs to come up, the knees opening. Use the knees bending. 1, 2, 3, 4 to sink. Standing posture. turn the waist, the left foot moves with the hips, and the left foot turns on the heel towards 1 o'clock or 1:30. Move the weight back over the left foot, and when you're over the left foot, turn the hips to draw the right hand up to the height of the sternum, the left hand underneath. Sink forward, 50-50 posture. The body's upright, holding the ball. The hips and the shoulders are facing 3 o'clock. The hands are on the center line of the body. The left hand is one span from the knuckle of the left hand is one span from the sternum at the height of the sternum. The right hand is one span from the sternum, the left hand underneath. They don't have to be over each other, it's just underneath, as if we're holding a ball. That's the posture. My right foot is forward, my left foot behind, facing 3 o'clock. Let's do that again, please. Find that place where you quieten down, where the body goes loose. Come to your centered, quiet place. Bend both knees. Continue bending both knees, but the weight to the right. Move to the left foot. Turn. Upright over the left. Fully over the left. Turn back. Hands and feet. Palms are now facing behind you. Coming up. Sinking down. Turn the waist. Left toes turning. Move the weight to the left foot. Turn the waist to 3 o'clock, holding the ball, all the weight on the left foot. Walk in 50-50. Both knees are bent. Hips, shoulders facing 3 o'clock, head 3 o'clock. Can I have a look at you do those moves from the beginning of the form, please? Take your time to get into an upright, relaxed, soft, fluid posture. When you're ready, let the knees bend. Take the weight all the way to the right, push out the left, move across, turn back, the foot comes in, the hands open, now the palms are facing behind. Before you do the next move, just settle and make sure you're upright and released. Use the legs as you come up. Hands come up and sink back down. And once more, make sure you're upright and fully settled and loose. Then turn the hips and the left foot comes in. Great. Move the weight to the left foot. When the weight's fully over the left foot, turn to hold the ball and then walk forwards. I think everyone's done this before. It's looking good, looking great. If there are any questions or you want me to repeat any of that, Jeff, your right hand a little bit high, just bring it down to the height of the sternum. That's it. And as you bring it down, can you feel there's more relaxation going on as the hand gets lower? That's what you're looking for. Yeah, so you're not holding it too much up. Yeah, great. Yeah, good. If there's any questions, please ask. That looks really good. Right. Good, let's move on. Let's add another move. The next move we're going to do is ward off left. So if we look at the posture of ward off left first, then we know what we're aiming towards. So have a look at ward off left. I'll do it for you. Have a look first. Bow stance. The left foot is forward, ward off left. the right foot. So in this posture, the left foot will be facing 12 o'clock. The right foot is facing 1 o'clock. So I'm going to be doing it, I'm moving back to the front. I'm going to be doing it facing this way, but I'll turn around so you can see the posture. The left hand, again, is at the height of the sternum. Palm, the center of the palm, is on my center line. Nice round movement in the arm, nice round feel in the arm. The right hand dropped by the side. So the right arm has a slight curve to it and the palm down. So it's not hanging, it's not limp and hanging, it's slightly alive, which gives it this curved feeling. And the left arm is nice and curved here. So it's like I'm holding a ball, like I'm wrapped around a ball with my left arm, and the inside of my right arm is holding a ball in place. My torso feels very comfortable over my hips, and my knees are bent and I'm settled into the posture. I'm standing in a square, so I'm shoulder width between the heels. And if I drew a line, this way, my heel and my toes are pretty much in line. My heels and my toes are in line this way. And my center line is right in the middle between the feet. My center line is not over my left foot. 50-50 weight, 50-50 weight. So how do I get into that? Have a look first. I'm going to do from here so you can see. This is holding the ball where we've just got to. I move forward onto my right foot. My left heel comes off the ground. I move forward onto my right foot. My left heel comes off the ground. When I'm on my right foot, my axis is now over my right foot, and I can turn on that axis to face the corner. So from 3 o'clock, I move onto my right foot and I turn, do the feet first before the arms. I turn to 1:30. My waist and my shoulders are now facing 1:30. All my weight is in my right leg. Let's do that move together. So if we go from lifting the arms, feet parallel, lift the arms, sink the arms, turn the waist, turn the left toes in, move the weight to the left foot, turn to hold the ball, all the weight in the left foot, walk forwards 50-50. Going to move onto the right foot. So I'm going to trickle my weight, drop by drop by drop by drop by drop. And as I do, I get more stable in the right leg, like I'm walking forwards. My left heel peels off the ground until there's no weight in my left foot. No weight in my left foot. When I get to that place, I'm going to turn to the corner. When I get 100% onto my right foot and there's no weight in my left, I'm going to turn to the corner. I'm going to turn to the corner. I'm going to show you something important here. When you turn to the corner, I'll do it facing you this way. When I turn to the corner, make sure your knee doesn't move out of alignment with your toes. So your knee and your toes stay in alignment. They mustn't move out of alignment. You'll feel if that happens because your weight will immediately roll onto the inside edge. It will follow your knee. Your weight will follow your knee, and your weight will feel like it's going onto the inside edge of your foot. And what you want is you want your weight to stay in the center of the foot. So when you turn to the corner, the knee bends towards the toes. The turning is in the hip joint, not in the ankle. Okay, if my knee moves in, it's moving with my thigh and with my hip as a unit, and that will make the turning be around the ankle. The weight will go onto the inside edge of the foot and I'll lose my alignment between my knee and my foot. I want to keep my alignment true. So the hips have to open. As the knee bends, the hips open. And it's the hip joint opening that turns me to the corner. Let's have a practice, please. Anytime you want, you can shake out the legs. Release any holding in the legs. From holding the ball, we trickle the weight forwards to the right foot. The left heel comes off the ground. When we're 100% weight, we sink and turn to the corner. There's no weight in the left foot, so I can put the heel down. Facing 12 o'clock, I move forward. Now my weight is 50-50 between the feet. The feet are facing 90 degrees. The left foot, 12 o'clock. The right foot, 3 o'clock. I'm right in the middle between the feet. I turn the hips and bring the right foot in. Pivoting on the right heel. Now I'm in bow stance. Bow stance facing 12 o'clock with the hips and shoulders facing 12 o'clock. Have a look at that move, please. Have a look. I'm holding the ball. I move forward to my right foot. My left heel peels off the ground. I turn to the corner. The left hand lifts. I step with the left heel. I move my feet 50-50. So I'm right between the middle of the feet. My feet are at 90 degrees to each other. My left foot facing 12. My right foot is still facing 3 o'clock. I turn my waist, pivoting on the right heel. Now I bring my toes in so that I've got bow stance facing 12 o'clock. My hips and my shoulders are facing 12 o'clock. I sink and drop the right hand by the side, ward off left. Let's have a go, please, from lifting the hands. Feet parallel, body upright, nice and relaxed. Use the legs and sink the legs. Settle. Turn the waist, bring the right toes in. Move to the right, bring the left toes in, move to the left foot. Turn to hold the ball. Walk forwards. Holding the ball. Move on to the right foot. Left heel peels off all the way to 100% in the right foot. Turn to the corner, watch your knee. Lift the left hand. Step left. Move in, feet are 90 degrees. Turn the waist. Sink and drop the right hand. Ward off left. I want to show you how the hands move. Just want to check the time first. Okay, plenty of time. Now, I have to say, don't expect to get all these moves in one go. Okay, I can teach them in one go. I can teach all the detail, but like learning anything, you learn from practicing it, you learn from repeating it, and you learn from following the moves and seeing what happens with your movement, and you're watching yourself do it. You're watching your habit of tension, and you watch how your body aligns itself, and you learn through doing it. So I can teach you the details quite quickly, but it takes a long, long time to smooth out all your habits and get everything nice and settled and relaxed. So how the hands move. The hands, I'll just put that right back on. The hands are holding a ball. When I'm facing 3 o'clock, they're in this position. See, they're on the center line of the body. They always stay on the center line of the body. So when I turn to the corner, the hands stay on this line the whole time. As I turn, my left hand lifts. This is like my left hand coming up around the ball to meet the fingers of the right. So I've got this little ball here, and my left hand is going to come up the outside of that ball to meet the fingers of the right. Once it's in that position, that's the same position for ward off left. So once that left hand lifts, it doesn't do anything else. All it does is move wherever the body moves. It stays with the body. So the left hand lifts while I turn to the corner. Then I move into position, the right hand drops. So all it is the left hand up, the right hand down. The left hand up, the right hand down. That's the only movement of the arms. If you look at the movement now, holding the ball, you'll see as I turn to the corner, the left hand lifts up the center line to meet the right fingers. I take a step. I move into the center. The hands follow the body. I turn and I sink and drop the right hand. The left hand's already in place. It was in place when I was facing the corner. One more time. Turn to the corner, the left hand lifts. Step, move in, turn and sink. Ward off left. Let's have a go together. This is one of those complicated things because I'm asking you to work on what the hands are doing, and probably means that you're going to forget what the knee does. So as your focus goes onto the hands, you'll probably not feel what the knee, but be careful you don't hurt your knee by bringing it out of alignment. Let's do it together. We'll go from the beginning of the form. Organize your structure. Soften around the frame of the body. Both knees sink. Right foot. Turn the left, push it out. Move to the left foot, turning the whole time. Turn back. Hands and feet. Everything's facing 12 o'clock. Settle into your feet. Relax inside the body. Use the legs. Coming up, sinking down. Finish. Turn. Move the alignment to the left foot, 100% over the left foot, turn to hold the ball, 100% in the left, walk to 50-50. Continue walking through to the right foot, 100% in the right foot. As you turn to the corner, the left hand lifts to the right fingers, step left, move into 50-50, turn the waist, sink and drop the right arm, posture of ward off left. Can I see you do, I'm just checking the time. Can I see you do that move, please? Last 10 minutes. So if you go from the hands lifting and the hands sinking, please. In your own time. Turn, bring the left toes in, bring the body over the left foot, turn to hold the ball, walk forwards. As you turn to the corner, the left hand lifts to the right fingers, then you've balanced on the right foot, you can step with the left, move in 50-50, feet at 90 degrees, turn the hips, bring the toes of the right in. When you've got the feet in the right posture, sink and settle down. Going to take some doing, isn't it? Okay, going to take some doing. That's what the practice is about. We're learning to start to coordinate and engage every single part of our body, bring our mind and our body together. So they're doing the same thing. So the command or the intention we give our body, the body can follow it. Body doesn't get confused. It's like a river of intention, and the body's just swept along with it. What we don't want is a fragmented intention that says do this, do that, and do that, and do that. We want eventually one intention, and everything about the whole body can just follow it. Okay, so we get completely single-minded about our movement. This is the aim. And at the beginning, it's fragmented like a jigsaw puzzle. We've got shoulders, we've got elbows, we've got wrists, we've got feet. We've got inside the body, and we've got a dozen thoughts going on at the same time, whether we're enjoying it, whether we're not, whether we're bored, whether we're something else to do in the day. And we have to unify the whole of us into one experience. And what the Taiji teaches us to do is to coordinate and bring everything together. If you like, it gives us such a difficult puzzle that it forces us, that if we're going to do it, it forces us to do it in a way that coordinates everything. So it makes us, it pushes us to a place that brings everything together. Okay, so you know sometimes you're driving your car or your bicycle, or even if you're just walking, and you get to the post office and Jesus, how the hell did I get to the post office? I can't remember going down that street. Okay, there are things we can do on automatic pilot. Driving, such a complicated thing as driving. Eventually, you know, remember when we first started, it was clutch and brake and coordinating, and I've got to steer, and I've got to look out the window and see what the hell's going on in front of me. How the hell am I going to do all that at the same time? Now, if you remember back to those days, now it's a piece of cake. We can do it without even thinking about it. Hopefully we do think about it and we're present while we drive, but we can do it in a very automatic way. And Tai Chi is the same. At first it's feet and hands, and God, what are these hands that I've had for 50 years, 60 years, and I don't know where they are, and I don't know why they're contracting when I don't want them to be. And eventually, we learn the quality of settling into it through doing it. Not through being told, but through ourselves following the guidelines and finding for ourselves. Okay, so last 5 minutes, let's go through the moves together. And before we do, are there any thoughts or questions so far of today's new move forward off left that you'd like to ask about? Yeah, Lynn.
Yeah, I just want to check when we're coming back forward, the right foot, is that's swiveling on our heel? Is that
Yes.
to come all
Right.
the way
Yes.
the 90 degrees?
Yes, so if you look at that move, I'll describe it again. If you look at my feet, here, the feet are at 90 degrees. When I move, I'm facing the corner. I want to face 12 o'clock. As I do that, my right hip comes forward and it brings my thigh with it. So don't think about moving the feet. Think about moving the hip forward. The thigh and the hip come as one unit and the foot comes with it.
Okay.
And you pivot on the heel. And the pivoting on the heel, just lift the toes just a fraction off the ground. So you've got more kind of like ball-like movement with the heel on the ground. If you keep your foot flat on the ground with any weight in it at all, it'll kind of drag and stick on the ground. If you can just lift the toes off the ground, it'll have that pivot point that you're looking for. And it makes it much easier for the foot to come round. And the posture you're looking for is the bow stance. And the bow stance is standing in a square, shoulder width between the heels, same distance forward and back, with the front foot straight ahead, hips straight ahead, shoulders straight ahead, and the back foot, depending on each individual, somewhere towards 1 o'clock. It could be 12:30 if your thigh muscles and ligaments are very relaxed and open. It could be 1:30. But this depends on the structure of your body and the tension of your muscles. So somewhere between 12:30 and 1:30, where it feels comfortable and you can turn your hips square and have your knees going in the same direction as the toes, and it feels nice rather than feeling awkward or held. Okay. Good question, then. Thank you. Hope that answers that question. Good. Let's go from the beginning of the form. Finish off. Inside, you should be organizing your structure, softening off and settling down. This is the meaning of the standing posture, putting ourselves into our best upright, putting ourselves into our best release. Starting the form, the knees fold, behind the knees folding. Turning the whole time we're moving across, staying upright. Turning back, again pivoting on the right heel. Settling down. Use the legs to come up, the knees opening, the knees folding to come down. Settled. Everything finishes. Turn. Pivoting on the left heel. Sit back to the left foot. Pivoting on the right heel. Walk forwards. Holding the ball. Onto the right foot. Turning to the corner, lifting the left hand. Step with the left heel, 90 degrees, move in. 50-50 weight, feet at 90 degrees. Pick up the right toes, turn the hips, settle down, posture of ward off left. So when you find a few minutes to yourself, go through these moves. The first thing, remember the moves. Remember where the weight is going. Remember the direction. Remember the hand positions. The first thing is to get the structure and the shape of the postures right. One move leading into the next move. Then you can look at stay upright through the whole movement. Try and stay upright. Try and be aware of your posture the whole time you move. Then try and be stable every time you move from one foot to the next foot. Try and be stable. Look for your stability, and your relaxation helps your stability. So these are the ways to start practicing it. Even though we've only got a small 2 or 3 moves, you can analyze what you do. Am I leaning? Am I tight? Am I stable? Am I relaxed? And in that way, we go through the form. And although we've only got a small section of the form, you can repeat it many times until you start to feel more and more comfortable with knowing the shape of the postures and beginning to feel the quality of change and relax within them. So I hope that's a useful class. Next week, we will do the next move, which is ward off right, turning back to 3 o'clock. And we'll look at some stepping exercises in between. So thank you very much, everybody. And we'll see you next week. Thank you. Any questions during the week, just email me. And if I can answer them, I will, or if not, I'll bring it to the class the following week. So thank you very much. And I'll send you the recording tomorrow.